firing up all the things. Twitch, good. YouTube, live. YouTube, Kick, good. Kick always starts with audio on, even though I tell it audio off. So be it. Okay, we are back at it today. Our app is launched. We have one new user. So if you would like to join that, be sure to go to app.roadtripninja.com and sign up, because we're trying to help other parents have better road trips. So I appreciate it if you sign up. And since we're live, since we're signing up, one of the things that I realized that I left out of the MVP is tracking what people are doing. So yeah, I've got basics. I have PostHog installed, but now what I want to do is I want to start tracking actions that are done. I have a couple things that update me via Discord, such as whenever anybody uploads an image, I'm manually moderating those images. There's a way to pay and have AI do that for me, but we're not there yet. We're not going to start paying until we actually get some traction. So right now what happens is whenever anybody uploads an image, it sends me a message in Discord for me to click through and approve it. So that way we don't get any images on our family website that shouldn't be on the family website. So we're doing that by hand, but I do want to start tracking when people are creating locations or reviews or adding amenities, whatever that is. Yes, I can look in the database to do that, but I'd prefer not to have to go and run database queries in our production environment to get data. So we have tools that can manage that for us. PostHog is going to be the thing that we use to manage that. So that's what today is going to be. Today's going to be adding in some of that stuff. So first thing we're going to do is we are actually going to use our product owner subagent. And we're going to have that product owner subagent do a little bit of research. I've got some ideas, but I do want to let it do its thing. So we will start with that. Here we go. Use the product owner subagent to research what events in our system would be good to add post-hog event tracking for. The goal is to not have to run DB queries to see how many locations, reviews, etc. have been added to our system. We want to use the ref MCP server to make sure we leverage PostHog correctly. I think PostHog even has an MCP server now. We'll have to check that out. We'll do some research while this is off and running. Make sure any plans, ideas, etc. align with our patterns and practices in Claude.md. Think harder on this. Once I approve your thoughts, we will create a GitHub issue with all of the context. Go to planning mode and let it go. Okay, so we're going to have it go do its thing. We're going to do a little research, get all that done. While that's running, one of the things I hear so often is AI is changing the way we build software. I think that's a little bit overblown. AI makes it easier to do the data entry, but the core skills, the core practices of building great software products, such as doing the research, making sure we have clarity on what we're building, making sure that what we're building has been validated with the customer, that they actually care about it. Just because you can build software faster doesn't mean you're going to build better products. You still need to rely on the age-old patterns and practices that have enabled people to build great products. More code doesn't mean better product. More value means a better product. So that's something that I had to get off my chest. All right, so let me do a little research here on, does PostHog have an MCP server? PostHog MCP server. I think it does. It does. Okay. So we'll have to add that to Claude Code. Okay. We got to get our. Okay. We'll do that in a minute. We'll do that after this. We'll get everything all set up. Well, we have 2 items going on here. What the heck? Oh, that's right. I was double dipping. I had 2 Claude codes open and was trying to manage running a couple different features at once. And I had to get up and go help my kids and left it. So now I'm coming back and it's like, hey, you still want to do this? So yeah. I think yeah, okay. So we'll want to do that, but we're not going to try and double dip here. That seems bad. I'm not at the point yet where I'm going to have multiple Claude Code windows doing multiple different threads of work. Maybe you found success there. I'm not ready to jump into that yet. I'm still trying to optimize the way I work with a single context window. So I'm not down with trying to multiply the challenges that I'm trying to manage, because I still keep a lot of the context in my head to make sure that Claude Code is doing things the right way. If I were to jump in and add more windows, more threads of work, I'm pretty sure that my personal context window would not be able to keep up, and that seems like a bad thing. So we're going to avoid that for right now. We're going to stay single threaded. All right, so it looks like our agent or sub agent is happy. Sub agent's doing his thing. All right, here we go. What do you have for me? Product owner sub agent. All right, no events are currently being tracked. PostHog tracking service. Yes. Okay. I don't understand why we would replace DB queries. This seems a little interesting. This would happen in unison with DB queries. I get a little nervous about this full map interaction, tracking every pan and zoom. Eesh. Oh, okay. So that's what it's saying. That's saying that we replace this phase 2 replaces the DB queries for the okay. Whew. I'm glad it clarified that. Okay, this is fine. What I would like to do, I would like each of the phases to be their own GitHub issue. Make sure each one has the full context needed for the engineer doing the work to confidently pick up the issue and begin working. So we're gonna just let it. Okay, cool. There we go. Working on it. Again, this is one of those. I cannot talk. This is one of those situations where we ask Claude to do a research. It's built to do a research. Dear Lord. This is a situation where we asked Claude to do research on how we could make this happen. It came back with a great plan, but it had multiple phases to that plan. Do not allow it to create a single GitHub issue or work streams to start working on that. Take each phase and break it into its own issue or work item, whatever you're using, and then work through those one at a time. Again, you want to keep your context window small, so if it ever comes back with a plan and phases, cool. Keep those phases, but work on them one at a time separately, clearing the context between each one. Otherwise, you're going to start to get into context overload. Sure, it's got a bajillion tokens that it can manage at once, but its effectiveness as token usage, as context grows, goes down. So you have to really fight to manage and maintain a small context. Okay, so we are creating issues. That is good. That is working. Let's take a look at these. Well, this is all pretty good. So we're going to pull this over, take a look at what the issue that it created is. So it did a pretty darn good job of detailing out. I mean, basically, this is fine. This is fine. This is a good approach for the AI world. What this would not be a good approach for is the real world. The real world, there's nothing that developers dislike more than just being handed methods to say, like, go type these in. That's not what a developer or an engineer wants to do. They want to solve problems. So that's okay. One of the things I've talked about that AI specializes in is data entry. So it can do data entry way faster than humans can. So this is actually a fantastic evolution of how you would build issues for AI. Wouldn't work very well for humans. They get kind of bored and frustrated. You probably lose your team. Okay, good. It's got us updating Claude.md with tracking patterns. Okay. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay, we have GitHub issue 2 created. Let's take a look at that. So application service, track event. Okay. Simple enough. We do need a service. Okay, so we're just tracking. Okay. I can deal with that. That's pretty good. Job well done, Claude. I appreciate the research that you've done. Built out some good issues for us to go make happen. This is all looking very good, very promising. So don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to have Claude do research. As we've talked about, AI is good at data entry, data consumption. So a huge part of that research is going out and finding data, understanding what it is, reading through it, piecing it together. So it's done a very good job of looking at our product, how we're going to integrate with PostHog, and track all the events that matter to us. And it's built out a really good plan for that. So now we have that clarity, we have that context. Now we're going to one by one go through and make each of those happen. Should be good. I feel good. I like this. I'm happy. Going to be good. We're going to know what's happening in our app and not have to run manual queries in the database. So while this is adding the fourth GitHub issue for us to go tackle, I don't know if we'll get them all done today. We'll see. So if you appreciate the content that we're creating and you would like some help launching your team's AI approach or maybe guiding your team's AI approach, please feel free to reach out to me here in my... If you appreciate the content that I'm creating around AI and would like some help with your team or you personally, reach out via the profile on whatever social media channel you're on, and I'd be happy to chat with you and see if there's a way we can accelerate your team's usage of AI. And by accelerate, I don't mean use it more. I mean use it more effectively. So that's what we'll focus on, is how, when, and where to use AI effectively to accelerate you in the best way possible. Why is GitHub issue creation so slow, Claude? Like, you've got it. You have all the information. I don't understand why it takes you forever to create a GitHub issue. If someone can figure that out, that's an AI hack I would like to see. I would like to see Claude Code be more efficient at creating GitHub issues, because man, it is slow. Okay, I'm going to create a milestone in... Are we done? We're done. Okay, yeah. We're going to go back to issues, create a milestone, and add them all. Add PostHog event tracking. Boom. Okay, so we'll go back to issues. Select these 2, 3, 4, and put them on that milestone. Good deal. All right, we are set. Okay, so we have options here. We can continue with the plan of building in that event tracking, or we can pick this back up. I feel like we should do this. Yes, we're going to do this. I want to get this done. In the meantime, we are going to add an MCP server. We're going to add posthog MCP server to Claude Code. Yes. Ooh. Wait, what does that is, I'm confused. Which one is a positive? We're going to go with them all. Okay. Okay. We gotta. Okay. Cool. We're good. So we're off and running. We are adding in some age logic. So one of the things that we were working on before is now whenever you create a review in our system, you have to manually specify these are the ages that my children were when the review, because we want to make it easy for people to find reviews for locations that are appropriate for kids like them or for kids like they have. But now what we're doing is we're simplifying it. Now when you manage your profile, you define the age of your children once, and then we auto bring that into each review to make it so you don't have to do that extra step of every time. The number of times I've put that in of my kid's 16, my kid's 18, and done that, like, that is not fun. So we're going to short circuit that and just have this all be done with a single setup. I do think we might need to add some sort of new user walkthrough or something like that, but we'll get there. And it's nice of Claude to freak out right now. So I'm sorry to anybody. We're gonna. Okay, it's done. Okay, cool. So this is just a, we'll call this a quality of life situation. After this, we'll get this done. I just had context sitting there. I didn't want to leave it, so we're gonna knock this out, and then we'll get back to adding event tracking. It's good that the tests are getting updated. Do we need new tests? That's the thing. Okay. We have tests are good. Nice. This is concerning. we're running into that situation again where Claude just keeps spinning on unit tests. I have a firm belief that a reason Claude Code is not good at unit tests is because so few people write good unit tests, so it's trained not as effectively on unit tests, so it tends to just spin. So if you get into this situation where it just continues to spin, I've found it to be beneficial to just slam on the brakes, stop, dig in, figure it out. You're going to have to engage your brain because Claude's just spinning. And sometimes when it does that, it just makes things worse. It just starts ignoring tests or disabling tests or just pretending they don't matter anymore, no matter what your Claude MD says. So make sure you keep an eye on Claude when it's working on tests. It's not its best thing. Okay, so we're going to, because Claude Code will get stuck and hung up on tests, there have been multiple times where it's come back, it said it's finished, we're done, all the tests are running, all the tests are passing, or sometimes it even is honest and says most tests are passing. So I always spend a minute running all of our quality gates by hand to make sure everything's good, because sometimes it just is like trying to get that green check mark, and we'll just decide I'm going to give myself the green check mark. Okay, here we go. npm run test run. Okay, those are all good. npm run format. npm run lint. npm run type check. Okay, cool. All right, so we just added methods. They aren't actually getting called yet. That's coming in a future story. So I'm not at the point where I need to run through and test out the UI because we haven't inserted this. We're just adding capability in to the service so that when it's time for us to start taking advantage of this, we can do it. So, okay, cool. And I've already run through. So what I do as Claude Code is doing its thing, I don't wait. I start watching all of the changes that it's making. I use the GitHub app to see all the changes that it's making. And I'm doing almost a real-time code review as it's building things out so that I can catch it if things start to get off course. And I can say, whoa, 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 hey, we're going the wrong direction. I can stop things and either redirect or stop things completely and restart with an updated prompt that adds the clarity that was missing. So don't just sit there, get a cup of tea or coffee or whatever it is. I find real value in paying attention and watching the changes that it's making. That's helped me save time with oftentimes it just gets off course. And then I realize too late, oh, I've got to redirect everything. Whereas I can catch it in the moment and everything's fine. So, okay, so this all looks good. So let's say, okay, this all looks good. Let's create a branch and PR so we can get the code reviewed. Okay, good deal. Be in a good spot after that. Okay. This is where I have an urge. I have an urge to start working on the next issue. But I'm afraid. I won't lie to you guys. I'm afraid I'm going to get my context mixed in my own brain, let alone Claude. I assume Claude can manage that. A little nervous about my capability to manage that. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I can't. So we'll have to. Maybe I need to just give it a shot. Maybe that's the answer. Let's just give it a try and see what happens. You guys are going to be along for the ride on this one. Okay, so we have a pull request. I like to look at these, so this gives me a chance. CodeRabbit's doing his thing. Claude is doing his thing. So we'll let those manage that. So in the meantime, what I will do is I will go back to our initial planning. And I feel good. I would like, let's see, what I'll do. Let me stop and explain. I have 3 sub-agents that I use. The first is the product owner. Second is architect. Third is full stack dev. The product owner sub-agent has done a really good job of building an architecturally sound plan for how we attack this post-hog plan. I think what I'm going to do, not I think, what I am going to do is I'm going to have the architecture sub-agent review that plan and make sure it makes sense. Because each sub-agent has been trained and defined to work in a specific way. So even though the product owner sub-agent did a pretty darn good job of defining the GitHub issues, I am going to leverage the architect sub-agent and just have it give a once-over and make sure that we're good. So while the PR is getting reviewed by CodeRabbit and Claude Code, we're gonna tackle this. Okay. Let's see. I would like the architect sub-agent to review the plan for GitHub issue number, what is that? 226. Validate that the plan and requirements are sound, align with all patterns and practices in Claude.md. Remember, we want simple and maintainable solutions. Think hard on this and detail out any changes we should make, before we start coding. Okay, I'm going to do that. All right, let's go back to code reviews. Claude Code likes it. I see what it's saying. Okay, yeah, because we're only worried about ranges. We're going to stick with that. Uh-oh, we got a red. We got failing tests. What the heck? Huh. Interesting. So we have tests passing locally, but failing in GitHub. I'm running on a Mac, so it shouldn't be some weird Windows thing. let me give it all this. We are getting failing tests in our GitHub CI. I have pasted the output below. Use the full stack dev subagent to figure this out. Okay. All right. Let's jump back and see what our architect says. Our architect says critical issues found. Whoa. Yes. Okay. So that just validated the value of having our multiple agents. Our product owner subagent went off, did some research, came back with a rough plan of how we should attack implementing post-hog to capture our events. I then asked our architect subagent to review that plan and make sure it aligns with all of our patterns and practices and make sure that we're applying a simplicity first approach. It came back and found a handful of things, which are very good points. So good job, Claude. Good job, subagents. Make sure you use those because, again, make sure you maintain small, narrow context with which you're asking Claude, and preferably that subagent to try and manage. So we've asked each one to be great at a specific thing. We asked that architect subagent to be great at architecture and make sure that we're building scalable, maintainable apps, and it has done that for us. Okay. So let's see what we have going on here. So while that's off doing its work, let's go back and take a look at issue 226. So in client layout, it's saying that we kind of like it doing it in the service better, because what if things don't go through the route? So let me ask that. Feel like this got more complex. Okay, what do we have going on here? Oh, interesting. Okay, so we're gonna go back. I think we just made the plan for issue number 226 even more complex than it needs to be. What is wrong with managing the events in the one place that they are guaranteed to happen, which would be the service layer? I am worried that putting it in routes and components could end up causing us to miss something that might call the service through another path. Review your plan and simplify even more. Also, by make sure you use the ref MCP and post hog MCP to validate the plan with the defined best practices. Okay. Okay, so we have some changes here. They all look good. So those are getting committed, and then I'll get all tested, so we're good. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. What do we got? I've done that again. I got Claude Code to tell me I'm absolutely right. That is absolute right counter 4,538. So that's good. Go back to our pull request. See how it's going. Okay, so it found, CodeRabbit found those issues. Okay, tests are passing. Okay, good. We did it. Let's go back, look at our issues, 226. What does our client layout look like? I want to look at that before we get to. Okay. Okay, so we're pretty good there. Okay. I think we're good. Okay. I'm going to shut it down. Thank you all for hanging out. I think we've got this ironed out. It's time for this old guy to go eat some lunch. All right. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for tuning in.